good, peoples? It's your boy Sully Young, representing that Like Minds, and I'm back with another Q&A. This question, actually, it's a couple questions from the homeboy Fuentes via Facebook. We used to serve together in the Navy on the USS Ogden. He actually had two questions. The first one was, what made me switch over from the Navy to the Army? And then the second question was, am I still currently in? So long story short, I did 5 years in the Navy. You know what I mean? It was never a long-term type of decision. I only went in, honestly, to get that GI Bill so that way I can go to recording school. So everything went as planned. Got out, went to recording school, graduated, moved back to Kansas City. I actually worked for 7-Up for a brief period, and then I transitioned over to work for the beer company. Fun fact, Joe Montana was actually my boss at one point. Crazy story, right? But yeah, he used to own Central States Beverage Company, and then he ended up selling it to Miller. So yeah, during that transition when I was working for the beer company, hey, life was good, I was making good money, and I was also eating good, which means I gained a lot of weight, you know what I mean, from the fast food and the beer on a weekly basis. I put on a lot of weight. So I ended up being like 250 pounds. Yeah, so everything was good in KC for a while, and then things kind of changed when I had my first child. When my oldest was born, you know what I mean, we decided to move back to California. That's when everything changed, you know what I mean? I couldn't find no work, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody would hire me. I couldn't even get an interview, you know what I mean? So I came to a point where I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and join back in the military, but unfortunately, thanks to my beer job and fast food that I was eating on a regular basis, I gained a lot of weight. I was like 250 pounds. I think the heaviest was 255 pounds. So I went to go talk to a recruiter, and pretty much he was like, hey, look, man, you gotta lose this weight, bro. So I was okay. Took some motivation, and within 6 months, I went from 250 pounds down to 190. Went back to that same recruiter, and he kind of was like giving me a hard time, telling me I had to retake the ASVAB and all of that, and I really didn't have no patience at that point. So I decided to go the Army route. The Army was willing to put me right in, and that's how I ended up in the Army. It's because I had no patience to wait around any longer after I didn't put in all that work to lose that weight. So that's how I ended up in the Army. Now, am I still in? No, I'm actually out. I retired April of 25. So yeah, man, I've been